your friend. I'll let you do it. Make the introduction to Five for Fighting.
Oh, John Ondrasik. Wow. John Ondrasik has been what Gary Sinise has been to the acting side. John Ondrasik has been a tireless supporter of the troops. He's won countless awards. His entire house is filled with gold and platinum, and he's just one of the greatest friends that I've been able to develop over these years in Hollywood. Is he here?
Yeah.
Is he here? John
Ondrasik. Oh, there he is. He's Skyping with us.
Right there.
John, you know what? Your 2000 album, American Town, went platinum in the United States largely because of that song, Superman, which is my super favorite song in the whole world. That was an awesome album. And I mean, of course, the reason why I love you so much and love what you do is because you love our troops.
Well, thanks, guys. It's great to be with you. And Andrew, how are you, my friend?
I'm having a great time. You know what? I offered up, if somebody gives $500, they can go to a Dodger game with me. Will you go along for the ride that game and maybe add it up to $1,000?
I'll be there. I'll be there with you. Our Dodgers need all the help they can get, even though we did just sweep the Giants, so I'm in a good mood about that.
Oh, wait a minute. The Giants are my team. Oh, now we're in trouble. That's amazing.
The thing, look, when you get to meet John, he really is. Between sports and his love of the troops, I mean, I don't know how he has time for all the other things in his life.
Well, today is a great day, not only because it's your telethon, and I can already see the numbers are incredible, but Phil Jackson is coming back to coach the Lakers. So, and I'm sitting here in Kona. I'm sitting here in Kona with my family, so it can't get better than this in the Ondrasik life.
Hello, Carla.
Be careful.
That is amazing. You have done so much to help support the United States military, these men and women who have been out there under extraordinary conditions. What motivates you to do this? I mean, what is your personal connection to the troops? Do you have one?
Well, I don't actually. I don't have any military in my family. I didn't have a lot of military friends growing up. After 9/11, I started meeting emergency workers. As you mentioned, Superman became a song that helped folks heal after 9/11, and I started meeting a lot of our troops. When the Iraq War started, I started getting emails from our troops saying, look, I listen to your music before I go on mission or when I come back, and I really understood how little things that we can do out here can make a big difference over there. A simple song, a simple postcard, everything you guys are doing, it's connection back home. And then I started meeting the families of our troops, which I think to me are the biggest heroes that our country have to offer. You know, our troops have a very dangerous job, but I think the families have the hardest job because they're moving around every couple years. They have to wait and make sure that phone doesn't ring, to hope that phone doesn't ring, while our soldiers are actively engaged, they're focused, they're working. So between the troops and their families, I just found these people humble, amazing. The work they do every day I couldn't do in my whole life, and I wanted to do anything I could to support them, and I think every American should look to support them. We're all on the same team, and for me, if I can lend a song, lend a project, our CD for the Troops project, it's the least I can do, and it's been a great experience for me, and I feel honored to be able to go sing these songs for these guys.
What have you learned? And you know, you've traveled abroad to perform for the troops. What did you learn about those trips that you didn't expect about what life is like living abroad and what sacrifices they're making?
The first thing that strikes you, Andrew, is how young some of these kids are. 18, 19, 20 years old. They are babies. And when you meet them and see some of the situations that they're put into, one of my first trips was going down to Gitmo. And I had a few beers with some of the soldiers that guarded the terrorists. And they have 6-day, 12-hour shifts. They're down there for 18 months. Some of the abuse they take from the prisoners, frankly, we can't speak about in this medium. It's a grueling, hard job. And that for them. A lot of them volunteered for this job down here. And then you look around and you understand physically that side of the fence is not free. This side.
Okay, it sounds like we're having some
You're getting digitized.
Yeah.
But it sounds like an extended remix.
It does. A little bit musical in a sort of lyrical way. But John, thank you so much. I don't know if you can still hear us, but we're very, very
What John
grateful.
is doing and what Gary is doing is giving people courage. It takes, when you're standing on the side of the lake, and it's in the Polar Bear Club, and they go, "Are you going to jump in first?" And Gary and John were the first two people. Gary Sinise, and to a great extent John Voight as well, were the ones to jump in the water. There's always a fear in Hollywood. The coming homes, the platoons. There's been a generation of the anti-war movie that reflects an underlying antipathy, where at best there's a transition now in Hollywood, and that transition now is the Hollywood left now is realizing it's not good to spit upon the soldier, but they kind of want to look upon them as a victim, post-traumatic stress disorder. That's how they're putting their foot in the waters, trying to figure out how can we help those guys who come back. And that's fine and good. But what John and Gary and John Voight as well, what John Voight, John Ondrasik, and Gary Sinise are doing, they're telling people in Hollywood that it's okay to be patriotic and to support our troops.
Maybe you could help me understand this, and all of us understand this, because you're a Hollywood guy, you're in a show business family and all that. What is it, why is it that they even have to be brought around to that way of thinking? Why are they where they are in the first place? Why is Hollywood so
Well, most people that go to Hollywood do not go to Hollywood to chase their political dreams. So that's one thing I will say. So the leftism there...
Can I interrupt you
for
just a minute? We got John back on Skype, so we want to go back to you live from Kona, Hawaii. John, can you hear us now?
I got you. I was enjoying Andrew's explain the Hollywood blacklist.
What's your experience been with Hollywood in terms of when you go out and talk about your deeply held feelings about supporting American military men and women?
No, I think Andrew's right. Look, there's definitely a certain group think in Hollywood. I've always been one to just speak my mind. Frankly, I scratch my head at some of the things that come out of these celebrities' mouths. But at the same time, I got to tell you, my CD for the Troops projects have included people from across the political spectrum. The first one had Melissa Etheridge and Brooks and Dunn on the first CD for the Troops, and you don't get further apart than that.
No.
So I've been very pleased to see entertainers from both sides of the aisle come together for the troops. Now, on the other hand, as Andrew says, I think it's becoming a little easier as things move along, especially with the new presidency. But, there is that challenge that some folks on the right have to speak out. Their livelihoods can be and sometimes are at risk. And, for some of us, we feel, hey, look, if the soldiers can take a bullet, I can take a criticism now and then. And it's our job to, stand arm in arm with folks and protect their right to speak their views. And hopefully, as Andrew said, with Gary and John and some of the other folks coming up, we'll even the platform. Because, look, this is America. Everybody should have their say, and they shouldn't have their job at risk for saying what they believe in.
I just have to say, well said, well said. We've had a number of guests on this broadcast today, including Rush Limbaugh, and we've had, coming up a little bit later is Sean Hannity. We've got Laura Ingraham coming up. But today, Rush, just an amazing individual. He has not only talked the talk, but he has walked it, and he has contributed, as of today, now $300,000 for the last 3 broadcasts for our troops, for our men and women overseas. You have contributed CDs, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of CDs that go into our care packages, which our troops love. We are very, very grateful to you, and we acknowledge your amazing abilities to communicate with all of us.
He not only did CD for the troops, he did one where I can't tell you how many hours he spent putting this together, getting comedians to put together their best stuff, and he is an amazing producer trying to figure out how can we show support, and I think it works. You know what? Quite frankly, it's not even that hard. But he's right. Melissa Etheridge stuck her neck out there right away and said, "Hey, I'm all over this type of thing." And so we are turning the ship around there in Hollywood.
Okay, but so now, finally, though, you're going to make the ultimate sacrifice, John. You are actually
don't do it.
You're actually going to go see a Mets game with Breitbart. How much love for your country must you have?
He'll be buying the beers, don't worry.
Yeah.
Hey, John, thanks a lot. Live from Kona, Hawaii, via Skype. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys for doing what you do. Love you, Andrew. See you guys.
Yeah, tough life.
God bless you. Yay.